Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon and Ascendant for the month of August. I hope you're all well. I'd like to say thank you to all those people who've joined the channel memberships. They're now open. There's a join button underneath the video. And also to the lovely people who've come over and joined me on Patreon. Like, your support means the world to me. You know that because I tell you all the time. But it's very humbling, actually, to have so many people see the value in what I do. So thank you from the bottom of my Leo heart. Right. Let's have a look and see what's going on with you. Some cards for Scorpio, please. It's the first one. I've got the Seven of Pentacles. Scorpio current energy, please. Ooh. 10 of Swords in your current energy. And let's have a look and see what's coming towards you for August. I'm going to take both of these, even though it was only the Seven of Swords that jumped. We've got the Seven of Swords in reverse and the Lovers. The Lovers flipped, but it didn't jump, but it seemed quite important that I take it. On the bottom of the deck, we've got the Eight of Wands and the World. Now, the World card features the four fixed signs, of which you are one. Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius are the others. But it talks about the end of a cycle. Things coming to completion in some way. The fact that the Eight of Wands is sat above it feels like there's an increase in momentum, perhaps, coming through in the month of August, where you might have felt like you were stagnating, possibly, or kind of flip-flopping from one thing to another. It feels like there's going to be some consistent movement moving forwards. Let's get these the right way around. So I'm just going to get some clarifiers and then we'll get on with this. Actually, shit, you know what? Just give these a little waft under there. Right. So tell me about the Seven of Pentacles, please. No, I'm not taking all of that because that's ridiculous. Right. We've got like 50 cards down here. I'll put those back in. I want to. It's the Death card flipped there as well, though. And that's your card, Scorpio. So an authentic showing up in your reading. Like this. Fuck. I've got the Chariot and the Fool have tumbled out together, which is interesting. Tell me about the Ten of Swords, please. What's the Ten of Swords here for Scorpio? Okay, what we have is some pretty heavy wand energy, actually. We've got the King of Wands, the Nine of Wands, and the Two of Wands. I'm not disturbed by that, though. I think that's quite good. Right, last of all, Seven of Swords in reverse and the Lovers. We've got the Ace of Pentacles and the Hierophant. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the Star, which is the card of Aquarius, followed by the Magician and the Sun and the Empress and the Six of Swords and Justice. Holy shit. Looks like things are picking up for you, Scorpio. Just like I said, it felt like there was an increase in momentum. Well, this feels like it too. I'll tell you the signs that are associated with these cards. If you're dealing with any of those, then that's all good. We've got Aquarius with the Star, Gemini for me, for the Magician, Leo for the Sun, Taurus for the Empress. The Six of Wands is a Leo card as well, and Justice is Libra. But I feel like this is more energetic for you than people-centered. Although these people might be showing up. I quite like seeing this here for you, Scorpio, because this talks about healing and hope and vision for the future, but it also talks about a certain level of vulnerability, and that's something that Scorpio struggles with quite hard. The Magician, the Sun, the Empress, the Six of Wands and Justice, though, really, really good cards. If you've got any kind of legal situations coming up, then it's quite likely that you're going to get a favourable outcome off the back of those. Do I want one more deck? Yes. John Bauer says yes. So we're going to put that there. And let's have a look at this. So the Seven of Pentacles is the first card. And that is for your recent past here. It talks about a certain level of dissatisfaction with the way your life has been progressing, right? And this can be with one particular thing, or it can be just like a low-level malaise with everything, right? The way it's all going. It's just been kind of... Well, I've got this impression over the last few months that, Scorpio, you've kind of been bounding from one thing to another. Bounding gives it a feeling of more intent, actually, than I've felt. It's more like ricocheting from one thing to another, and trying to find a direction, and actually sort of getting lost in all of the options. It's like there's been a lack of consistency somewhere. And so, like I said, this could be one particular thing, or it could be just everything. And it feels like it is a just everything kind of situation here, right? The fact that it's clarified by the Fool, well, the Chariot and the Fool, Cancer and Aries respectively, makes me feel like there's truly been some sort of journey going on here for you. The Chariot and the Fool are both cards that indicate movement in some way, and with it being the Chariot, it's talking about the self. So this is kind of a journey of self-discovery a little bit, and it doesn't feel like it's been particularly easy for you. You know, you've not kind of been drifting from one thing to another and you know, kind of enjoying it for a bit and then moving on. No, this has been a kind of like ricocheting from one thing and then realizing you're not happy with that, and then ricocheting to another thing and just being like all the time. But you've been learning something about yourself in the interim, and the fact that the Fool is up here as well, it's just kind of giving you this clarity about what you don't want in your life, and maybe more of a sense of the things that you do want in your life. It's been a process of refinement to allow you to get clear about what you want, who you are, and how you achieve it. Tell me about the Chariot, please. We've got the Page of Pentacles, yeah. So there's been... The Page of Pentacles for me is a new start, right? It's the lowest echelon of the court hierarchy. And for me, it talks about understanding the value of something. There is something new that's been coming into your life over the last, well, over the recent past, but I would say the last few months, where you're starting to understand the value of that thing, right? And the new thing that's been coming into your life, I think, is this sense of getting to know you and who you are, right? It's quite a shady looking character there, and Scorpio, sometimes your energy can be a little bit shady. But it feels like this character here is kind of holding stuff that you didn't know you had in you, and you're kind of meeting this creature, this person, and being all like, hey, what you got in the bag? Show me what's in the bag, because the bag is me. The bag is my stuff. Like, I want to know, you know? I see the Chariot card increasingly recently as another indicator of shadow work, right? Because it talks about duality, you know? It's the good and the bad and the positive and the negative and the light and the dark and the night and the day, all of these things, right? And the Chariot card is about coming to a point of perfect alignment so that you can hold all of these things about yourself and move forwards in a straight line, to which the charioteer is actually the point of integration between these two things. And the charioteer is you. I mean, as you understand yourself, as you understand your motives, as you understand what drives you, so you have a better idea of how to keep all of this straight. And it's kind of like a cracking open a little bit, you know? I said here with the sun. Yeah, with the star, kind of opening up a little bit. I've got the Ten of Wands in reverse and the Ace of Wands. Now, the Ten of Wands is an end. We see this, well, you see it as burden. Right? This card usually talks about burden. It talks about things being too fucking difficult. And in fact, this character has just fallen down face first onto the ground and just been like, fuck this. This is how it feels. I'm just fuck this. Fuck everything. Right? Puts me in mind of some pictures I saw this morning that somebody had drawn of crows that were just screaming into the void. Right? That sort of thing. But it's come out in reverse, which doesn't necessarily mean the exact opposite of what it means in the upright. Being a 10, it talks about an end. And this feels a little bit like there's an ending coming. You know it's been coming. You can kind of feel the energy building towards an ending, but it just keeps getting delayed in some way. And the frustration is part of what has led to this feeling of dissatisfaction with your environment. And what you want more than anything is to harness this power of the Chariot and the Fool and just zip off, you know, as indicated here by this Ace of Wands. But it's not quite happened the way you wanted it to happen yet. So there's a teaching moment in here for you somewhere, right? Whether it's patience, whether it's putting things off until you've got to a point where you understand your underlying motivation sufficiently before you're allowed to progress. Like, you'll have to take it as it resonates to you, but it seems like there's still things bubbling around underneath. Now, what I like is that in your current energy, we move straight to another 10, and this is the 10 of Swords. It's kind of a card of rock bottom often, but it doesn't progress any further than this, right? If you really hit the bottom, there is nowhere for you to go but up, actually. And I like the fact that it's here and it's the right way up, because this means that this end is coming. An end to the things that have wounded you, an end to the things that have held you back, and an end to the ways in which you have possibly held yourself back, or other people have held yourself back. Where everything's been hurting, it's going to change. It's coming very, very soon. The 3 cards that you've got to clarify are all wands, and they are all very present energy, right? The whole wand suit is about the here and now. It's about being, right? Just in the moment, enjoying everything for what it is and all that sort of thing. But we've got the King of Wands here. And he is the active presentation of the energy of the fire suit, right? So it's nothing to do with gender. It's strictly a card of Leo, but again, that doesn't really feel like it matters at this point. This is about kind of getting clear about what you want, getting clear about endings, and then actively making differences in your life, right? Or wanting to, at least, anyway. We've got the 9 of Wands, and we've got 2 of Wands here too. Now, the 9 of Wands talks about boundaries to me, and Scorpio, that's something that you struggle with occasionally, well, quite a lot actually. Like, the ones that should be kind of fairly loose and about here are actually here and walls, and then there are others that should exist and don't exist, and you struggle between the two. This feels like an active acknowledgement of that. And as this energy builds, as this ending comes closer and closer, so your energy to fix these things is increasing too. But this is also a card of kind of continuing to fight when you kind of at that like point there, like, you know, with the crow pictures this morning, right? Finding the energy somewhere you didn't know you had to keep going, even though you just want to fucking put everything down and just run away, right? You're not going to do that, because you can feel this end coming, getting closer. And it's putting you in this energy here with the 2 of Wands, which is kind of making decisions about how you move forwards now, right? Because for months you've been kind of, like I said, ricocheting from one thing to another and potentially moving towards, painfully slowly, this culmination of whatever's been difficult for you this year, right? And as much as you've wanted to go speedily towards it, the energy has just kept you dragged back over and over and over again. But now you're starting to get a sniff of the ending. Now you're turning your mind to what you're going to do afterwards. Right? Let's have a look and see what the John Bauer has to say about this. I thought that might come out. See, what's come out here is the 7 of Cups, the Moon, and the 10 of Pentacles for the 2 of Wands. Right? And I think you're starting to come to the point where you realise that this pause that you've been put on energetically, and, you know, possibly in your life, if you've been subject to lockdowns and stuff like that, you know, there's been a pause. And no matter how much you fought against the energy with the ricocheting from one thing to another, you sort of ended up coming back to the same place. And it's like, I really love this depiction of the Seven of Cups, because usually it talks about options, right? Lots of different things that you need to choose and not kind of knowing which way it is. But the visual on this card is so different, right? There's that little person down there. Here are your demons, Scorpio. They've been hunting you down for a little while. You've been trying to kind of bob and weave and slip out of the way. But it's coming to a point where, with the moon, you're needing to go within and address all of these things, because you're basically bouncing from the same fucking situation over and over and over again. And this situation is going to keep happening until you change the way that you approach it. And it seems like slowly this is starting to come into your consciousness. You're kind of starting to realize that there is some work that you need to do here to stop this thing from bouncing around. And these demons aren't going to stop chasing you until you get to that point. And then we've got the Ten of Pentacles. Oh, I really like this card. This particular depiction of the card. It's really beautiful. And normally with the Ten of Pentacles, and it remains true for this one, we're talking about stability and commitment and security. And actually, Scorpio, you've been really looking for that this year. This is why the ricocheting has been so frantic. But it feels like what you're slowly starting to realise is that all of that work starts in here first, right? You can't change your external environment and then just hope that it will fit, right? You have to be the change that you want to see in your environment. So where you've been bouncing from one situation to another that is effectively exactly the same fucking situation, the common denominator in that is you, right? So taking some time to pause, reflect, stop and look at these demons that are chasing you and going, okay, well, why do I seem to keep hitting the same fucking wall over and over again? Right? You're getting there because you want this. And whether this is with someone else, you know, as a romantic relationship, or whether this is just your life around you, right? That stability, that security, where things have been all up in the air and you know, and unstable. Now you're considering how it is that you bring this to you. Now that makes this make much more sense, because what's coming towards you in August is the Seven of Swords in reverse and the Lovers. And the more I look at this combination of cards, the more I like it, because the Seven of Swords is a card of deception, right? There's just deceit here. We've got this crow running off with these, or flying off with these swords, right? Having kind of indulged in an act of trickery, presumably to get them away from the other crows. And it's flying off and it's very pleased with itself, right? Now, sometimes this can be the deceit of others, and sometimes this can be self-deception. And I feel like for you, Scorpio, it is self-deception. But what I love is the fact that it's turned upside down, right? So it feels like in the month of August, some of the scales are going to fall from your eyes a little bit, because of this work that you're doing internally, because of these demons of yours that you're turning around to face, right? You're not deceiving yourself anymore. And in doing so, you suddenly open up the ability to be able to dictate how your life moves in the way that you've wanted to do all year and somehow haven't been able to manage, right? This act unlocks this for you. And what comes after that? The Ace of Pentacles and the Hierophant. Now, the Hierophant is the card of Taurus, and there may be a Taurus involved. I should say that the Lovers is a card of Gemini, but it feels more energetic than that, because the Ace of Pentacles is that new start, right? Imagine it as an acorn, right? It's full of potential. It contains the potential of everything in the Pentacles suit. So just as an acorn in some ways contains an oak tree, so the Ace of Pentacles contains the 10. The thing that you are looking for is approaching, and you are going to pull it towards you by stopping this self-deception that's been going on for such a long time with you, right? In addition to that, we've also got the Hierophant that talks about structure, talks about hierarchy, talks about stability, can talk about faith as well, right? But this is an opportunity to get that stability that you have been after for such a long time, right? Because it starts in here. It starts with you first. Let's see what the John Bauer has to say about that. Tell me about the Ace of Pentacles. Wow, that's incredible. The two cards that have come out to clarify are the Hierophant again and the Fool. Scorpio, you're turning a corner, and I'm so delighted for you. I've just come out and goosebumps all over. The Hierophant, this structure, this stability, this security, this ability to stop your foundations rocking around as much as they have, it's on its way, and it's on its way. I can't possibly reiterate this enough, because you are doing the work internally, right? This is about changing you, changing your vibration, changing what you expect, right? Cleaning up your energy, right? And raising it up, and just effortlessly almost pulling all of this stuff towards you. The Lovers for me is a card of manifestation. That's how I see it, because it's conscious co-creation, right? You are stepping up and making the decisions in your life that bring the good things to you. Remember that we had here the Magician right underneath the Star, right? The Star being that hope for the future, vision, connection with yourself as much as with other people, but vulnerability, right? In order to receive good things, you must be able to receive good things. You've got to be open to it, right? Whether you've realised it or not, you've been quite closed, but you're cracking wide open. And then you get to channel the Magician energy, which brings incredible positivity and abundance to you. Here, all of these cards speak about positivity and abundance. It's absolutely beautiful that you personally bring to you, right? Because the Magician is a conduit. Right? He can manifest whatever he likes into the 3D because he is channeling that higher wisdom. The higher wisdom for everyone, but particularly for you, is that knowledge of the internal space. And then we've got the Justice card directly underneath, like the whole thing's been a big teaching moment for you. And with this, like look at all this, they all scream new, right? Ace of Pentacles and the Hierophant. Here's the new opportunity that you've been after. The Hierophant and the Fool. The stability, the structure, all of those things that you wanted to build into your life, and the ability to go off in a new direction. Really, really close. Very close. Right, if this has resonated with you at all, I'm going to go over to Vimeo now and do an extended. So there'll be a link down in the description box, and you're welcome to follow me there if you wish. If not, that's all cool, no shade. But I'm really, really excited for what I see for you here, Scorpio, because you have struggled this year, and it's been painful to see at times. So, well done you. Keep up the good work, and I will see you in about 10 days or so for the August mid-months. Take care.